Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. The day Tom arrived, with just a single point difference, he stole my title of top student in the class. Furthermore, with an arrogant and conceited attitude, he approached my childhood sweetheart, Lily. He said to me, "From now on, I will always trample you underfoot, taking everything you have except your fate." Lily faintly curled her lips as he wished, being incredibly gentle with him. But Lily's deep affection only appeared when those who dared to trample on me were dragged down to hell by her. The first week Tom arrived, he became famous throughout the school because he surpassed me, the longtime undefeated top student, by just 1 point. I bowed my head, looking at my hand holding several exam papers totaling 740 points. I looked up, took a sip of water, and noted down each wrong answer, reminding myself not to make the same mistakes again. My desk mate was somewhat worshipful of Tom. "This Tom is truly amazing. I heard he is a student sponsored by Peking University. I don't know why he condescended to come to our school. Who knows? Tom seemed to harbor hostility towards me from the very beginning, including when he received praise on the radio. His eyes arrogantly looked in our direction. He walked to my desk, bent down, and provocatively said to me, 'Before I came, I heard the top student in Riverside was a legend. Now it seems that's all there is to it. Indeed, a chicken head and a phoenix tail are not comparable.' I looked at my 740 points, not daring to agree. Of course, Tom's humiliation towards me didn't continue because he saw Lily standing at the classroom door waiting for me after school. His eyes lighting up, Lily stood straight at the door saying to me, 'Bookworm, let's go home. Lily is my childhood sweetheart. We grew up together since we were kids, wearing open-crotch pants. Her grades have always been at the bottom of the class, while I'm almost always at the top because I'm obsessed with studying. Even when I'm with her, 9 out of 10 times I'm thinking about physics formulas. Therefore, she always calls me a bookworm.' Of course, I know when she says these 3 words, her eyes are as gentle as jade. Later, when she couldn't restrain herself, she pushed me against the wall and said, 'Studious boy, do you know your fervor for studying? Just give me a little bit, and it would be enough to drive me crazy.' Now, a Tom even stronger than before has appeared, and Tom has been targeting Lily from the beginning. Tom confidently walked to Lily's side, smoothing her hair, and said, 'Lily, how about I tutor you?' Lily looked at him a little puzzled. Tom pointed at himself. 'It's me, the one just praised by KH on the radio, the top student. Trust me, I have enough ability.' Hearing this, Lily raised her eyes to look at me. In her eyes there seemed to be a realization, even carrying a hint of mockery. Was Lily mocking me? Mocking how useless I was? I coldly turned my face away, not wanting to look, but the corner of my eye still couldn't help but glance at Lily. Her head being incredibly gentle, she said to Tom, 'Okay, Tom.' Tom confidently smiled at Lily, revealing 2 canine teeth, and in his eyes also flashed anticipation. The gossiping desk mate beside me couldn't help but whisper to me. Lily agreed. "Isn't she your childhood sweetheart? I used to think you two had a chance." The classmate behind also praised. "Tom is really not only good at studying but also easily gets love. One must say they really are a perfect match, giving people the feeling they were born to be together." How naive. I curled my lips, resting my chin on my hand, and laughed. They didn't know what Lily was really like. Lily's gentleness with a purpose just now would appear every time she solved the obstacles for me. The innocent, harmless, polite appearance, yet unintentionally carrying fatal gentleness. That was her most deep trick. Lily is the most insane dog by my side. Her mission is to protect me. Tom, I admit you are very strong, but if Lily is wholeheartedly with me, how much chance of winning can your so-called power have? That's right, Tom is a conqueror. His goal is to conquer Lily's affection. When the affection value reaches 100%, this story is considered a success for him, and I am the villainous male supporting character, Lily's childhood sweetheart. After Tom appeared, I would become jealous and do some inexplicable bad things. Of course, that's the outline of the original story, and the original story stopped when Tom appeared. When I woke up, surely the entire story would change dramatically because of me. Speaking of which, it's also funny. Before Tom came, I didn't love Lily. In my eyes, there was only studying. Therefore, Lily and I were still not a couple at that time. I pretended to say, The main task of high school students is studying. Let's wait until we get into the same university. Then let's be in love. Okay? In the book, it described me as a top student, despising Lily with questionable character yet keeping her by my side because of her family background, thus becoming the white moonlight in Lily's heart, making her remember me forever. After the male lead appeared, I felt threatened. I also strived to discover what Lily had been healed by the male lead. What was written in the book was right. I didn't like Lily that much, so I was curious why, after the male lead appeared, would I become so crazy. Clearly, before, in my head, there was only studying, but that's just the plot in the book. Unfortunately, Lily would be seduced by such a person. Lily is a madman, so am I. Tom, are you well prepared to welcome the madman? The next day, Tom approached me again with a gloomy face and a forced smile on his lips. Yesterday, Lily told me that I'm like the sun. She almost fell for me, so she felt I illuminated her. I advise you to be sensible and quickly retreat. I awkwardly looked at him. Tom was a bit handsome, arrogant, and conceited, indeed like a small sun, but Lily hated the sun the most. Lily had photosensitivity from childhood to adulthood. Others accidentally. Giving her anything related to the sun would be destroyed by her. Except for the sun pen I gave her unknowingly. I lowered my head and chuckled lightly. This isn't like seeing him as a virus, implying stay away from me. Tom frowned. What are you laughing at? I seriously said people in different fields don't understand each other. I wish you success. Tom was a bit sharp-minded. He could see my indifference and could feel my attitude had hurt his self-esteem. So he said, "From now on, I will always trample you underfoot, taking everything you have except your fate." He paused for a moment and continued, "Including Lily and your top student position." Tom was full of confidence. The corners of his eyes curled up triumphantly, seemingly already seeing my tragic ending of wailing miserably. I was even too lazy to raise my eyes to look at him. I immediately picked up my books and brushed past him. Wait and see, Tom. What if he has external forces? Studying is my forte. I have put in countless efforts. Not just a few words from him will make me scared. Tom was ashamed and angry, spitting out harsh words. You just wait. Before the second midterm exam, the school held a National Day Gala. The National Day Gala is an annual event of Riverside High. Whether it's newly enrolled 12th graders or 10th and 11th graders, they can relax and enjoy themselves. It's just that generally, this gala has nothing to do with me. As Lily said, I am just a bookworm. I can't dance and have no interest in singing. Lily is the opposite. Every time there are big programs and galas like this, it's her stage. She is the closing act, appearing at the most exciting peak of the whole school. Lily gracefully stood under the stage lights, her figure gentle and beautiful, her fingertips agile, dancing on the piano keys. Her eyes, like pools of water, looked down below like a goddess. Applause like thunder. The whole school was for this girl. I lowered my head, turned off the English listening practice in my ears, and attentively looked at her on stage. I sat in the first row, able to see her clearly. In previous years, Lily would also go on stage to perform. From elementary school to high school, this stage has always been hers. Every year before going on stage, Lily would look at me with bright eyes and say, "After the performance, you must be the first one to give me flowers." This year was no exception. The melodious piano music ended. I smiled slightly, holding the paper high as I had prepared, and went towards the backstage. It's just that I had just arrived at the backstage and hadn't had time to step in when I heard Tom's voice. "Lily, you were so beautiful on stage just now." His voice was playful and enthusiastic. I lifted a corner of the curtain and saw all of them. Lily leaned against the wall. The darkness behind the curtain seemed to completely envelop her, while Tom at this time was looking at her with an excited expression, seemingly wanting to bury his head in Lily's arms recklessly. Too dim, I couldn't see Lily's expression clearly. I quietly lifted the curtain and walked towards them. At this time, I could see clearly that Tom was holding a bouquet of sunflowers. Tom's face was slightly red, completely unaware that I had arrived, only focusing on charming Lily. Sunflowers symbolize sunflowers facing the sun. That day you said I was like the sun. Again the sun. Lily's expression could be clearly seen as impatient. Her fingertips constantly pressed her temples, looking very irritated. Lily's temper with people other than me has always been not good. It can even be said to be bad. I have seen her make a deskmate cry until she couldn't speak, and I've also seen her tear apart love letters others gave her right in front of them. Lily always knows how to make boys cry. I didn't care how Lily bullied Tom. I was worried that this was backstage and Tom's temper was also not small. If the two argued, it wouldn't be good for Lily's reputation. So I quickly took Lily's hand and placed the paper I had prepared on it. My action had successfully soothed Lily. However, Tom was furious. He frowned, his voice rising. "John, I came first, do you understand politeness?" I curled the corners of my lips, but Lily wanted me to give them to her first. I approached him and using a very small voice said in his ear, "Lily likes me, can you see that? Do you want to be a third party?" Tom gritted his teeth, directly grabbed Lily's wrist and said, "What do you like about John? I can learn everything later. Will you like me?" Unexpectedly, he was so straightforward, making me stunned for a second. Lily's eyes paused on my body, her gaze hot. After a few minutes, she lowered her head and chuckled softly. "Like him being good at studying." This answer was also beyond my expectation. Tom was a little anxious, saying, "You've also seen before, I'm the top student in the class. My grades are better than John's." I looked at Lily's beautiful lips slightly opening and closing. "It's just luck." Lily was very good at irritating Tom. Tom gritted his teeth. "Okay, I will always be ranked first. You will know I am 1,000 times better than John." After speaking, he stuffed the bouquet of sunflowers into Lily's arms. Lily happily accepted it and at the same time didn't forget to encourage him. "I believe in you, go for it." Under the lights, Lily's voice sounded very clear, and between her eyebrows, there was also a bit of charm. Tom blushed a little shyly. Only he had just opened his mouth to say something when Lily slowly opened her mouth again. "Okay, you should go now." This was directly issuing an order to drive away guests. Tom immediately choked, reluctantly could only turn around and leave, still glaring at me. After Tom left, the first thing Lily did was try to touch my hand but didn't dare to go too far. She said, "Why haven't you been going home with me these past few days?" I could say it was because of Tom. I was a little unwilling to pay attention to him, although I knew the possibility of her loving Tom was not high. I didn't like her, but I still couldn't help but be a little angry. Lily and I have known each other for 18 years. Since I had memory, she has been by my side. The Zhang family and the Leah family have been friends for generations, dating back to our grandfather's time. They were close. My grandfather and her grandfather were comrades. My mother and her mother are best friends, so our generation has a particularly good relationship. The adults of the two families bought adjacent villas. Lily's mother liked to instruct me the most, saying, "You must treat Lily like your own younger sister and protect her. If she is bullied at school, I will be the first one not to forgive you." People in the family all said Lily and I were childhood sweethearts, although I don't really love Lily. To me, Lily is impeccable. She has always been rebellious, doesn't like listening to her family, and makes trouble everywhere. Except for early love, she doesn't miss a single thing students shouldn't do, like fighting and climbing walls. But she is very good to me. I am not good at making friends and also don't need to join any groups. In addition, I am quite handsome, and people like me are very easy targets for bullying at school. At that time, she, as a little girl, already carried a bit of a gangster temperament, sheltering me behind her. Clearly, her mother instructed me to protect her, but on the contrary, it was she who protected me. It's really strange. In high school, everyone is going through puberty. I also looked quite handsome, so I attracted some girls who didn't understand things and paid attention to me. But at that time in my heart there was only studying. Without hesitation, I rejected a few girls who liked to make trouble, leading to them boycotting me at school. At that time, it was also Lily who, without saying a word, immediately found some of her brothers to stand up for me. Of course, that was not something glorious. Lily was finally called back by her mother, and had to kneel in the ancestral hall all night. But that night, she was kneeling while holding tissues, patiently coaxing me as I sobbed. "I just wanted to protect you. Don't feel guilty. Now I only regret not breaking the legs of those bastards." Lily is like my knight. Since I have memory, she has always been protecting me by my side. Perhaps it is also because of experiencing those things that later, When she loves the male lead, I am unwilling to see it. I didn't react. Lily raised her eyebrows and moved closer, spacing out. For what? I smiled slightly, stepping forward. Let's go. Lily followed. Her long eyes couldn't help but be stained with a smile, one hand hooking onto my arm, laughing until her eyes were curved like a crescent moon. Just as Tom said, he was sparing no effort to compete for everything that belonged to me. Every time in the exam, he was the one with the highest score in the class, always a little higher than me. My deskmate was extremely worshipful of Tom. He is really too good. How can he do it? Our exam is so difficult. You were already close to full marks. He can still be higher than you a little bit. I said nothing, only calmly collected the wrong answers in the exam paper. Tom triumphantly stood beside me, mocking. You might as well admit defeat early. You also see with my strength you can't resist at all, right? Moreover, this is already your limit, isn't it? This is not my limit. Indeed, it was not his limit. Even if he didn't listen to lectures in class, he could also get the highest score. That expression, as if he had mastered all the knowledge points proficiently. My deskmate was as if eating melons on the sidelines. Look at you two. You won't plan to bet on who is the top student in the class, will you? Although John, you are very strong, but I feel Tom is even more amazing. Hearing these words, I was not angry at all, only lowered my head indifferently and corrected a wrong answer. If you are so strong, why do you have to come in front of me to show off directly? Always getting first place is enough. Unless I raised my eyes and smiled gently at him. You are deliberately making me lose my composure, because you are also not sure you can always get first place. I knew Tom had a conquest system. This system would constantly make his scores higher than mine just to tell Lily that Tom was stronger than me. Please love Tom. This was also considered a shortcut for him, but this also meant that this golden finger was not permanent. After he passed the newbie stage, Tom would need Lily's favorability to exchange for this golden finger. Therefore, he very much wanted me to withdraw from the competition. Dream on. The corners of my eyes curved up, smiling a bit mischievously. You are dreaming. Tom was provoked to the point of losing his temper, taking a few deep breaths to adjust himself. I just enjoy the feeling of effortlessly being able to trample you into the mud. After speaking, he turned his head and left. In fact, Tom's external force was indeed a bit amazing, but the reason Tom could always be higher than me each time was because I still hadn't reached full marks. If I could reach full marks, how could he be higher than me? As long as I am strong enough, even if Lily really loves Tom later, he also cannot take away my glory. Thinking of this, I smiled and corrected another wrong answer. Wanting to use such simple words to defeat me, Tom was really dreaming. Tom didn't know that I was a study fanatic. I study not for the pursuit of titles, I just love it. I like the feeling of doing exercises, and on this path I will constantly have a sense of achievement. This is probably something he can't understand. He only thought that my being good at studying was just a way to attract Lily. Before Tom came, I had always participated in the physics competition. Now the list of participants for the national physics competition of the school has been determined, but because of Tom's appearance, the school specially gave him a spot. Tom also did not disappoint the school. As soon as he participated, he won. First prize nationally, 1 point higher than me. Since transferring here and being better than me, Tom has gradually become the male god that everyone worships in their hearts, now even more, causing a wave of admiration. A classmate said Tom was originally a student sponsored by Tsinghua University and Peking University. Indeed, his strength is very strong. Moreover, I also heard that he had previously voluntarily given up that sponsorship spot. This is the real deal, huh? I was silent. Masters take action, you know, if they are good or not. As for me, many people felt regret and shot in fear. It seems John is not very strong either, easily surpassed like this. The feeling is not good, huh? People say Tom still dozes off in class and can still easily surpass John. Comparing people to people is really infuriating. The person everyone said I was a god suddenly fell from grace. Over time, my mentality very likely would have problems like that. I would never be able to defeat Tom in my whole life. Tom heard the surrounding praises, triumphantly narrowed his eyes, and also didn't forget to mock me beside him. Really sorry. You are again trampled under my feet. Tom was full of confidence. However, I was completely indifferent, yawning. Great. If it were before, Tom might have been angry already. Now he looked behind me. His eyes again began to light up. Lily, I got first place. I turned my head to look. Lily's eyes fell on my body, silent for a few seconds. Finally, she looked towards Tom. Tom happily ran over and hugged her arm. Praise me. Don't use simple 2 words, okay? Praise with concise sentences. Lily was silent for a moment, calmly pulled her arm out but still said, You know your current excellence has made me feel academic pressure. I almost burst out laughing. Lily was still always sarcastic like this. A person who ranks last in class, what academic pressure does she have? Tom didn't hear Lily's sarcasm. He only looked at Lily with an expectant expression. After a long time, Tom's face changed. He frowned and said with difficulty, Not right. Shouldn't be like this. Why is the favorability still 0? Favorability is still 0. My mood immediately cheered up. Lily didn't know why. I was between her eyebrows, also stained with a smile. She only knew at this time I was happy, so she also couldn't help but curl the corners of her lips. She didn't come to congratulate Tom. She came to pick me up to go home. Tom could clearly see that he was worried. He grabbed Lily. His eyes were red-rimmed. Why don't you like me? You said you like people who are good at studying. I'm always better than John. Each time you said you like people who are not noisy. Recently, I also haven't bothered you, he said. Lily, please accept me. Let me be your male lead, okay? Tom looked very handsome. It's the kind of radiant handsomeness that appears in front of everyone and can immediately attract all attention. At this time, he was like a wounded little beast pleading for pity. Almost no woman could refuse him, right? However, not including Lily. Lily put one hand in her pocket, she sighed softly and whispered in his ear. He doesn't have a mirror, but there is P. Not far away, a group of students were gossiping. Lily had already considered Tom's face somewhat on the way home. I couldn't help but ask her, You don't like Tom? Although I knew Tom was strong because he had a system, I have to admit Tom is a very outstanding person. He is arrogant, enthusiastic, lively, handsome, and good at studying. When facing Lily, he also never said flowery words. If I were a girl who didn't know Tom's true colors, perhaps I would also love him. Lily was a little helpless. Bookworm, do you think I'm stupid or blind? I can see that he's just a useless person. Before, I treated him gently a little bit just because I felt it's rare for you to have an opponent. You might want to die. How did I treat you before? You're not unaware, right? After speaking, Lily grabbed my sleeve and said words that were obviously directed at me, but sounded like she was complaining. Brother, you really are ungrateful. Before, I treated you so well, and you immediately forgot everything. This girl. I coldly put on a face showing I didn't want to pay attention to her. She always likes to say such ambiguous words, making me not know how to answer her. Troublesome Lily moved closer to me. He doesn't have any self-awareness at all. I understand because his brain is not good, but you must have self-awareness. My bookworm is a very good person. Don't be discouraged because of temporary setbacks. I believe you will sooner or later surpass him and take back everything that belongs to you. Lily's hair seemed to be dyed a layer of gold by the sunset. The girl was full of vitality, full of spirit. Lily, it seems her brain is not very good. I am clearly a villainous male supporting character, yet she actually said I am a good person. But at the same time, I am also Lily's white moonlight. I can understand it. I smiled and nodded. Tom, because he could not conquer Lily for a long time, was completely anxious. The use of the golden finger is conditional. That is Lily's love. But Tom now completely cannot successfully conquer Lily, so the system will soon no longer provide convenience for him. The next day, as soon as I arrived at school, Tom pulled me to the stairs and asked me urgently, Meaningless John, you also have a system, right? What is your system? Don't hide it. If you have guts, say it straight out. Playing tricks sneakily, is it meaningful? He sneered. I already said, how could there be someone who relies only on themselves to get such high scores? Moreover, also easily change their fate and have a good family background. Everything is good. His words made me find it very funny. The corners of my lips curved up sarcastically. Saying like that only makes me feel you are a cornered dog desperately jumping over the wall. Tom gritted his teeth. If you don't have a system, how do you explain all this? I can't possibly fail, he said. Women are really easy to conquer. Before this world I have conquered. No less than 10,000 people, each and everyone like a dog, give a little good thing and they will follow. Why can Lily, a stubborn person who doesn't study, be an exception? I didn't say anything because I also didn't know why, but I knew the person Lily truly loved absolutely couldn't be someone like Tom. My silence seemed to make Tom even more desperate. He affirmed I had a system. Only Tom suddenly raised his head, staring at me with gloomy eyes. Actually, this matter is also easy to solve. You disappear and it will be okay. Huh. I frowned, and before I could react, I was pushed by Tom. Behind me were the stairs. If I fell down, I would definitely be injured. In a moment of crisis, I reacted and grabbed Tom. You want to do bad things? Then don't blame me for pulling you down to die together. My body and his body simultaneously fell backward, rolling a few rounds. No one gained an advantage. Tom became the cushion. He widened his eyes and immediately cried out in pain. Sicko bastard. John, why did you pull me? My leg. My back. It hurts so much. Taking a deep breath, I could still stand up, but Tom was clearly not okay. He tried a few times and smiled bitterly. My leg seems to be broken. I picked up the scattered books on the ground, gently brushed the dust off the cover, and waved my hand at Tom. What does it have to do with me? Tom ordered me in an arrogant tone. You quickly take me to the infirmary, otherwise I will say you pushed me down. Now it was already the morning self-study time. Recently there was no one around. If you don't take me, I will sit here until after school. Getting seen by others is so embarrassing. I rolled my eyes and pointed at the corner next to him. You just transferred here. You might not know there is a camera there. Tom immediately turned pale. I turned my head and left. Honestly speaking, I really didn't understand why the system chose Tom to be the conqueror. So stupid and so evil, such a person can be the male lead of this world? If it really is a novel, then it really should stop here. I am the author. I also might not be able to continue writing. That morning, Tom lay on the ground until the end of morning self-study. Finally, he was surrounded by classmates and taken to the infirmary. Others asked him why he was lying on the ground, and he stammered, not daring to say Lily. Initially she didn't care, but later heard me say Tom wanted to push me. Immediately, like a cat with bristled fur, she led me to find Tom to settle accounts. Tom is the top student of our school, the seat of Tsinghua University and Peking University in the future. If something happens, what to do? I strongly suggested reviewing the camera, but Tom kept shaking his head. No need. Like that is too troublesome for everyone. Lily looked at him with profound eyes, carrying a bit of undeniable rejection. You really are a kind-hearted boy. Bullied and also keep silent. Your leg, looking at it, also doesn't look like a self-fall. How can a self-fall become like this? Tom wanted to cry but had no tears. Still wanting to say something, the principal. I already spoke up. I absolutely don't allow such a thing to happen in my school. Tom turned pale and could only watch helplessly as the principal opened the surveillance camera. Then the whole hall was silent. The teachers present quietly looked at me, then looked at him. The camera had no sound, but it could be clearly seen that he pushed me first. Top student pushing top student. The principal was very embarrassed. He could only cough softly, pretending to scold, asking me why I didn't take Tom to the infirmary. I said without emotion. He wanted to push me down the stairs. If it wasn't for him reaping what he sowed, I might already be paraplegic. Before leaving, I didn't kick him twice because I have quality. What I said also made sense. The principal smiled awkwardly, wanting to turn big matters into small matters and small matters into nothing. Lily sternly said, "Such behavior is too atrocious. Shouldn't he be disciplined?" Tom was stunned. Lily, do you know what you are saying? You actually want me to be disciplined because of JN. The principal was a bit embarrassed. You are already in 12th grade now. If disciplined, your record will have a lifelong stain. Lily said nothing, only looked at the principal, smiling faintly. In the end, the principal still compromised because the Leah family had donated 2 teaching buildings, 100 computers, and half of the dormitory area to the school. Now Lily only wanted to uphold justice. The principal had no reason not to agree. Tom from beginning to end glared at me. After the principal and the teachers left, Tom couldn't bear it anymore, saying, "John, are you satisfied now? The feeling of trampling me underfoot. Is it very refreshing?" I was silent for a few seconds and said, "Actually, I have never valued you. Trampling an ant to death is nothing refreshing or not refreshing." I truly despise Tom, to be precise, those cheaters like him. From the beginning, they are destined to fail. Tom is the male lead. In fact, he initially encountered the Heavenly de Luck. Heavenly de said he was the only lucky person in number 1 high school. Initially, it gave him 2 choices. One is the effort system and one is the conquest system. The effort system, just as the name implies, is 1 part effort can receive double reward, have a life like a boss. The conquest system is through conquering the female lead's favorability, which can exchange for various golden fingers in the mall. Tom chose the conquest system. Anyway, the difficulty of conquering a woman is much lower than relying on oneself to make efforts. Not wanting to make efforts, only wanting to enjoy without labor, and also being able to go back and forth among excellent girls in all aspects, is really too good already. But Lily is a tough opponent. Tom felt he was the male lead chosen by Heavenly de. Lily was born to love him. Even in conquering, Tom also did not make much effort from beginning to end, always carrying an inexplicable arrogance, exaggerating, thinking success was a matter of course belonging to him. In this world, how can there be such a good thing? Tom could not conquer Lily not long after he revealed his true colors. First were the questions teachers called him to answer in class. He always stammered and couldn't answer, but when taking exams, desk mates wanted to copy his paper and he didn't agree. The result? His score was still far from passing. The second midterm exam, his score was even lower, to the point of being tragic, not even 100 points. On the contrary, with Tom's stimulation, I loved studying even more. Moreover, I often thought, if next time a conqueror with brains and extreme strength appears, do I have a way to rely on my will to surpass him or not? Originally, I was already close to full marks. Now, after supplementing my shortcomings, I am even closer to full marks. Now the hot gaze of my desk mate again turned back to me. He shouted non-stop, "Oh my God, John, you are my God!" Tom could only struggle for the last time. That was before the third midterm exam, trying every means to sneak into the Lee family's house, wanting to climb into Lily's bed. That night, Tom wore a suit and sneaked into Lily's house, but Lily was not moved at all. Instead, with a black face, she threw him out of the door. She also reported him to the police for trespassing. Tom was reported in the newspaper and put in jail, but because he was in 12th grade, the police only warned him and released him the next day. Tom walked barefoot all over the streets searching for his so-called system, seeming to have gone crazy. I opened that novel again and found that the male lead, Tom, had quietly become the male supporting character. That's right, this original novel had appeared on my bookshelf from a year ago. At that time, I already knew I was a villainous male supporting character and Tom was the male lead of the conquest story. It's just that this book at that time only wrote until Tom transferred to school. The later fate was all by me, step by step, self-written. I indifferently put the book back in its original place, accompanied by a sneer. Actually, it's okay for me to be a male supporting character. Being a male supporting character doesn't mean I must be a foil for the male lead. Just as I finished speaking, the sound of knocking on the door rang out. It was Lily. She held an umbrella, standing under the light, the other hand holding a bouquet of white chrysanthemums. "John, from now on, can you wait for me to go home every day?" This time she didn't call me bookworm. I knew she had liked me for a long time. The hot, pure gaze of the girl is impossible to fake. I seriously said, "But I like studying." Lily smiled gently, her eyes soft. "I know I am nothing but having a bit of money at home. Everything else is not good, studying is not good, disobedient, but I am also not a bad person. I am also loyal. Once I have decided on you, I only want to have a good ending with you. Can you try? As for studying, I think I am very smart. Teacher John can consider teaching me." She dropped the umbrella on the ground. The sun was still scorching hot, shining on her face. I frowned. "You can't be in the sun." I hadn't finished speaking when Lily already took the opportunity, placing my hand on her face. Her whole person carried a wronged expression. just like a lost kitten, pitiful and finally found home. Then she shielded me from the sun, clearly wanting me to touch her face. I slightly curved the corners of my lips. After that, I was admitted to Tsinghua University. Lily said she wanted to study at the same university as me, retook the exam for 2 years, becoming my underclassman. Later, as a successful alumnus, I returned to school to give a speech. Standing on the podium, I looked at the vibrant faces below, their eyes looking at me, all carrying expectation and admiration. I said in the script, there are main characters, there are supporting characters, but even if we receive the supporting character card, we don't necessarily have to be a foil for the male lead. As long as we dare to resist fate, we can become the main character of our own life. No effort is useless. It will be deeply engraved into my bone marrow, penetrating deep into my heart, making me better every day. I hope if one day you encounter the so-called male lead with a golden finger, you can also use all your strength to say, you are the male lead. It's not important. I can also be Lily's extra edition. Actually, I also watched the original novel. It's just that bookworm John didn't know, and I also didn't plan to tell him. When I saw the original novel, my first feeling was, what the heck is this author writing in the outline of this book? In the end, I was conquered by Tom, loved him to death, and hated JN, whom I always wanted to protect since I was little. Now a Tom even stronger than me has appeared. Therefore, but John has never done anything bad. John doesn't like me because the Zhang family has been declining in recent years. His parents always said in his ear that he must marry me. This bookworm likes studying, feels relying on himself, can carve out his own path, and doesn't want to rely on me. Actually, he keeps me by his side because in his heart he likes me and doesn't want to lose me. These things I all know. If he didn't like me, why keep me by his side? Why not keep others? Moreover, every time after I protect him, his uncomfortable expression really looks very much like he is heartbroken for me. In short, JN also likes me and I like him very much. We are childhood sweethearts, 2 young ones, undoubtedly a match made in heaven. Why have to squeeze in a useless Tom? Therefore, I didn't understand what the author was thinking. Tom came to seduce me that night like a madman, questioning me. What exactly do you like about John? What is so good about him? He is good everywhere. I have never seen a boy as good as him. Perhaps it is because in the book it also said John is my white moonlight. His soul is irreplaceable. He is pure, clean, and very beautiful. John himself probably also doesn't remember anymore when I was very young, being locked in the dark room by my dad. It was him each time taking the excuse to come find me. I want to borrow toys, rescuing me from my ranking last in class. In fact, it's not because I really can't study. I just want him to actively tutor me. I really like him. While complaining about why I am so miserable, I was holding books and running to my house. I suddenly remembered those quiet nights at his house, the noisy sound of the TV, him quietly holding books, raising his head to look at the moonlight in the sky. At that time, I only focused on secretly looking at him, not paying attention to the shape of the moon. Now he has become my moon. This roughly is the meaning of white moonlight. He is always in my heart, in the cleanest place. Therefore, how can such a person be replaced by a conqueror?